Hey, beautiful people. Linda here. Just a quick update to update you in my current state. So while I enjoy the sandwich at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, I am getting ready to board for a flight to the UK, London, and I don't know because I keep going back to the same places and I'm being targeted started in London, and I am going back to the same place because I am out of options where to go, and I am running out of money because I keep spending everything on hotels. And but yeah, it is what it is right now. I think a life can change in a second, like we can lose a loved one in a heartbeat. That's also how your life can change for the negative, and mine change within a heartbeat. And now it has been 5 years that somebody is actually targeting me. Not somebody, because now it's a group effort, that a group of these entities are targeting me. I see the world as we are all running a race, a human race. And it's like we all have our lanes and we are running the same race. Some of us have been giving more resources than others, but at the end of the day, we are still all partaking in this race called the human race. And on my lane, before I was being competitive and I was seeing progress in everything that I was doing. Until 5 years ago, somebody started to become jealous of me, and out of spite, so they decided, like, we want to destroy this person, take everything away from her, and destroy her to the point maybe that she will become so mentally insane that she will harm herself, because I think that is the main goal. But 5 years long, they have seen that I am somebody who is very resilient, because I mean, these are not the first people that I have encountered. As a child, I have encountered a lot of awful, awful people in my life, and every time I bounce back because I am a soul with a good spirit, and so I'm protected. And because of that, my mentality is very strong. So I always bounce back. I can feel sad for a day, but I always bounce back somehow. And so for 5 years, nothing has happened. I'm still living my life. And here and there, sometimes I get a break and I can continue. So all the destruction that they try to put on my path is not really working. Right now, the only thing that they are doing is limiting me, that I can no longer partake in this race because I have a pile of a mountain ahead of me. And no matter what I do, I cannot manage or seems to be able to climb to the top of the mountain so that I can remove myself from that obstacle. And that's where I am. And that means to have this basic of having a place to call home, some form of stability, somewhere to put your head. And sleeping in hotels is not the best thing, because right now I am constantly like trying to investigate next hotel to go in, to try to stay in hotels 2 days, 4 days a week maximum, and then go to another place, because then it gets too much for my psyche to have to deal with everything that they are doing, you know, like gassing the room that I'm in with awful stank, sewage smell, and God knows what. So I am constantly doing that instead of focusing all my attention maybe on building a business, or finding a place to live. And even finding a place to live, because I've done that. I done that in the Netherlands. I've done that in Belgium, and we all saw where it went. It went nowhere, because every time I'm being sabotaged. And yeah, so I was just reflecting, and Sitting here, I realize like how alone I am. And I really wonder how many people in my shoes will survive, especially these people that are doing this to me. How many of you would actually survive this long as I have been able to do? All by yourself, no support from anyone, against the world alone, being treated less than, but I have survived. And I'm grateful for that because it says something about my mentality, that I'm very strong individual. But yeah, so on my way to London and see if things will change. I'm not really hopeful because right now I know their patterns and I know I'm going to places where they have a network. Even outside places that they do not have a network, they will find and manage to have a network there because it seems like I live in this world where bad is good and good is bad. If you have ever read 1984, then you know what I mean. It's an upside down world, and these people get away with torturing a human being who is innocent, has done nothing against the world. And because they do it in a covered way, I do not have any proof to come against them, fight against them. But at least I know all these hotels that have partake in this ordeal. One day, everything will come out, and these hotels will have to answer for their evils. I'm currently staying in a hotel that I actually used to love because since this stalking, harassment, surveillance, monitoring, destruction of my life started, I have constantly come to this hotel, and it used to be my go-to hotel. Since 2021, I keep coming back to the same hotel. And this time around, I think it's the last time that I'll stay here because it seems everyone in this establishment is corrupt and has been bought to partake in this ordeal. Man, that's unfortunate because these are like big chain hotels, so I don't get it how it's even possible, you know. But yeah, so that's the direction that I'm at. I really hope I can get a place to stay, and if not, we will move again to maybe a destination in the sun, and who knows, and let nature take its course. Whatever happens, happens. Like they say, you can only control the things that are in your power to control. Everything else is left to God. And so that's what I have to do. I have taken some pictures, and sometimes I look at myself, and the sadness in my eyes is like if my mother was here right now. I remember back a few years ago, before she died, I had an accident. I was in an abusive relationship, and this guy tried to kill me. So I jumped out of the window to save my life, and I ended up in a hospital. And my mother was in the States, and then she came back to the hospital where I was laying, and she looked at me and she said, "You look dead in your eyes, you know?" And now I understand what she meant. Like every time I take a picture and then I look at my eyes, I can see it. It's like the sadness. It's as if I am looking at somebody else, that it's not me. I'm looking at somebody else, and I feel this immense sadness for that person because their eyes are so sad. There's no happiness in them. And it breaks my heart because I look at myself as if I am a third party. And it breaks my heart to see sadness in other people. So it also breaks my heart to see sadness in me because I know the person that I used to be. My life wasn't perfect, but I was alive. So yeah, that's what you're seeing here. This woman who has been discarded by society as trash with no help from anyone, only from the forces that are invisible. If I can believe the Bible, those that are with me are more than those that are in this world. So maybe that's what I need to keep in mind and just accept it. But yeah, I don't want a pity party. It's just how life is for me right now. And sometimes also remind me of the book of Revelation. I feel as if the world has ended somehow and that there are people left on this planet, and a majority of them that are left are bad. But then there are the few left who have maybe who are supposed to show themselves or prove themselves. At least in the book of Revelations, it says like in the end, people will be longing for death and they can't find it. That's what plagued my mind sometimes. Like, am I in the end times? Like, am I one of these people that are supposed to persevere till the end and that we are longing for death and it doesn't come? You know, it's like my own personal apocalypse that I'm in. I'm left behind. All the good ones are gone, and the questionable ones are left to suffer among the wicked until the day that God deemed them worthy enough to either save them and take them with Him. So I guess that's what I'm waiting for. But until then, I can't stop trying. I can't stop trying because it's in my nature. I can't just stop trying and give up and let these demons win, you know? Like last time I said something about if these people with resources, manpower, unlimited time, access, network can come against a humble person like myself, then there must be something in me that they fear so much that they have to destroy it. You know, it's the concept is very alien to me. I don't know what it is. Competition, I welcome competition. If I'm at a workplace or in an environment where I have to compete, I know my strengths. If I know I can compete, I will definitely give it all. But to try to sabotage, that's not in my nature. To win because it will feel as if I am cheating, and this is exactly what they are doing. So that means they are so intimidated by me that they have to cheat because apparently, in their eyes, I am better than them. And because of that, they have to hire a million of people to make my life miserable, to halt me, so that I can't run the same race as everybody else with the limited resources that I have and that I am by myself, unless they see the invisible army behind me, my ancestors and everybody else. So, I don't know. Right now, I'm like one of these old people who are all left alone to wander about on this planet, waiting for the angel of death to come and take them. But I think before, I always said, like, I do not want to leave this world until I've accomplished all my goals. But right now, I feel like I'm content, you know, because I know I did my best in every area of my life. I did my best. Maybe, yeah, it can always be better, but I definitely tried. And I am not afraid to take risk. I'm not afraid to try over. And I am not afraid to lose and rebuild, because I feel like that has been the only constant in my life, to constantly start over again, you know. So I'm not afraid to try again and again and again, no matter how many takes I have to do. Life will happen anyway.